So before I quit my job earlier this year, so I asked myself, what's the worst that can happen to me? Once I think about the worst that can happen, which is just to work again, well, it doesn't sound so bad after all. If you are in your 20s, this is my advice to you. I recently received an email from a young lady, Hersha, asking about life advice. Now, I'm far from being an expert in life because I'm still a student of life. However, right now I'm in my early 30s and I do felt that I actually learned a lot in my 20s. So I hope that my 10 years of experience can shed some lights to you. And I really think that the advice that I'm going to share with you next are the advice that I wish receiving when I'm in my 20s. Number one, don't work for money the conventional way. I know in life, most people want to get ahead and want to make a lot of money. So we can travel the world, buy whatever things that we want without worrying, and of course, take care of our family. But frankly, I really don't think that I will become where I am today if I work for money the traditional way. Now, what do I mean by traditional way? I want to give you some context. I used to be a journalist for 3 years and every month my income was about $3,000. So if you add up all these 3 years of working experience and trading my time for money, I made about $100,000. Now I'm not saying that being a journalist is bad. Although the working hour is pretty long, I do enjoy being a journalist. I was able to interview successful people, including our former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. I learned a lot from the job, from my colleagues, from my boss as well. However, if I continue this path being a journalist, living paycheck to paycheck, I really don't think that I will become a millionaire when I'm in my early 30s. So why I'm sharing with you all this is not to brag about my current status. I really think that I'm far away from being highly successful. However, I do observe that millionaires and even multimillionaires and billionaires, they don't work for money the conventional way. What they tend to do since young is they will actually start their own business since young. They will try out many different options in life. And until they found what they are truly good at and passionate about, they will start to double down on that. Which brings me to lesson number 2. Really explore different paths in your life, in your 20s. I know when you are in your 20s, sometimes you kind of felt like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do ahead of me? What kind of career should I choose? What kind of course should I attend? What kind of degree should I go for? And once you graduate, you immediately think about, oh, should I take up this job? Should I take up that job? I know I've been there too. There's so many uncertainties in front of our life. There are just so many different paths ahead of us. My advice is, while you're trying to figure out more clarity in this conventional path, be open-minded to explore alternatives out there. I remember back then when I graduated from university, my ex was the one who actually invited me to a very big seminar conducted by Success Resources, and he was suggesting me to explore different streams of income. And on that day when I went to the seminar, I actually signed up for a $3,000 internet marketing program because the idea of being able to make money anytime, anywhere really speaks to me a lot. So although at that time it was actually a pinch to spend $3,000, considering that back then I was only making $3,000 per month. So literally I need to trade my entire month of hard work to join this program. I went ahead. And guess what? Right after the course, I implemented exactly what the teacher said. And ta-da! I became the most successful internet marketer in Singapore. I wish. Well, things really didn't go as what I expected. I was pretty much bad at applying everything that the teacher told me. And frankly, I was pretty discouraged because I spent close to a week creating that travel guide because I was passionate about travel. So I want to sell travel guide, right? And nobody bought it. So instead of making a lot of money from the program, well, I made zero from there. So while I was feeling very disappointed with my work, with myself, it was actually my ex who encouraged me and look at problem in a different way. And he said, Chloe, since you already spent $3,000 on this program, and since you also actually paid additional a few $100s to buy the domain for your website, why not turn your website into something that you like to do? And he said that since you love traveling so much, why not just turn it into a travel blog that you blog about it? What a good idea. right? Like I can, even though I could not get the best out of the program, at least I can use whatever things that I learned from the program and try to see how can I make the best out of it. So that's how I started my gogobudgettravel.com and used that website to document down many of my travel journey with my loved ones. And over time, as the website actually started to garner more traffic, I actually used that website to approach sponsors like hotels, sometimes attraction companies, to get me free trips. If I do a very simple calculation, that kind of savings I had when I was bringing my family to go to Vietnam, it was free. That pretty much covered the entire program fees that I paid for. So yes, I still made back my course fee. But I think most importantly is this course really exposed me to different possibilities that, wow, I didn't know that I can do that. I didn't know that I could become a travel blogger. I didn't know that I can use social media to actually get good deals and even free sponsorships. And for the first time, I felt that, wow, how beautiful that I can actually do something else outside of my job and still be rewarded in the process. And because of the seed that the program planted in me, it eventually grew into a tree over the past few years as I continue to double down being a creator. Now, if you still remember back then, it took me about 3 years to make 100K. Right now, since I quit my job since early of this year, I've already made 100K in like 3 months. And most importantly, I was having so much fun, having so much joy, really going through this self-exploration journey, right? To really find out what am I good at. I realized that I really love to be in front of camera. I realized that I really enjoy speaking to people. I really enjoy documenting down my entire process, my sharing. And yeah, I get paid doing what I like. And if I did not explore the path of what internet marketing course can bring to me back then, well, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be where I am today. So for that reason, I'm really grateful for big seminars provided by Success Resources and many other companies. Even though there are people who have a lot of negative views on seminars like this, I do feel that it kind of changed my life, right? That because I chose to pursue in this path, eventually I become successful. It might not be immediate success from the program, but nevertheless, I make it work eventually. If I can turn back time, I really wish that I explored this alternative path earlier, not just when I was in my 25, but even earlier. If you're open-minded towards it, I felt that it can really give you a lot more opportunities in life. So through all this alternative exploration, once you found what you love, double down on that. Which brings me to lesson number 3. Embrace hard work and really hustle. The more I study successful people, like I got the honor to interview Adam Khoo, and then I read Gary Vee's book, I read about Warren Buffett, the more I came to realize that when it comes to success, there's just no shortcut. Like, you really gotta work hard and you really have to hustle for that. Gary Vee produced an episode on YouTube almost every single day for 5 years before his business became super successful. Warren Buffett read like more than 500 pages a day so that he became such a great investor. All this requires hard work and effort that most people from outside they don't get to see. But that's what truly built them to be where they are today. That's why it's so important that once you find out what you truly love, you need to make sure you put in the effort and hard work to really hone your skill set. And this is one exact advice that one of the creators that I admire a lot, Vanessa, she gave in her video as well. Going wide versus going deep. Because to be really good at your game and you want to get paid a lot for your skill set, you need to be an A++ player. Think about superstar sports player like Serena Williams, who make like $45 million a year playing tennis. Well, she really grinds so much, right? She practiced tennis since young and she's passionate about the game, and that's how she became who she is today. So there's no shortcut to success. If you want to be good at certain things, you need to spend the effort. And the most important thing is because you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work to you. So sometimes when I'm creating content, I enjoy it so much that I don't feel that I'm working. I just truly enjoy sharing what I share right now. I felt like I am having fun the whole time. And that is what makes the entire journey so much enjoyable and sustainable. So that's why go and find out what you truly love. And then after that, you make sure you work hard towards that. And lesson number 4 is don't be afraid to stand out. I guess this problem is slightly more obvious in Asia because generally in Asia we are taught to be conform. We are taught to really keep our heads low so that people don't notice you. You don't want to fight with other people. And because of that, since young, we kind of don't want to stand out. Also because if you stand out, if you make a mistake, then everybody will be able to see that and probably laugh at you, right? And you don't want to be judged by other people. So that was my thinking in the past as well, that I didn't want to stand out and I just want to make sure I be unseen and just live my life as I was last time. And because of that, I felt that there was no opportunities being given to me. Not only was I not outstanding in my work, I wasn't also not very outstanding in my social media as well. I don't really post anything because I was afraid, how will my friends see me? If they see this picture, will they think that I'm trying to show off or whatnot? So I constantly think that people probably are judging me, and I did not dare to post certain things that I truly want to post. But after I started to really overcome that fear of being judged, I realized that actually people online, they are a lot more supportive, and all those fear that I had was actually unreal. So most of the time I receive more supporters supporting, liking my videos, liking my photos versus haters who have bad comments. Now, of course, I do agree that there will definitely be supporters and haters. However, what is truly important is we want to focus on people who support us, right? Who love us, right? For those people who actually give us negative comments, really just accept them gracefully, because sometimes they could be just having a bad day. They are not being personal. They are not trying to really attack you as a person. I really hope not, right? But even if it is, so be it, because it's their views and it's their opinions, and we don't need to enforce those opinions onto us. You don't need to feel bad about how people look at you, as long as you feel good about yourself. So the context I just shared was revolving around social media, which I highly encourage you to start posting. In your 20s, if you do have the goal of eventually having a strong personal brand online, you want to explore what kind of possibilities that social media can unlock for you. For example, TikTok has really changed my entire journey because of since I started TikTok, I have a 200k followers, and I can use these 200k followers to do a lot more things, which I would not have done if I did not start TikTok journey 2 years ago, right? So I will highly encourage you to explore the power of social media. However, if this is really not your passion, this is really not your game, and you don't want to do personal branding, well, then at least use the same principle and to be outstanding in your own work. And I have a good friend and also a good mentor of mine as well. His name is Davey. When I talk to Davey, I can always see that he always tries to be very, very giving, very, very outstanding in his work. And because of that, he got paid like 7-figure. I'm not even kidding. Like, for the first time, I get to know a person who actually get paid 7-figure working in a corporate environment. I was like really amazed. However, for him to get to where he is today, it's because he always wants to make sure he stand out in front of his boss. He stand out in front of his peers. And whenever the team or the bosses require certain things, he is always there to deliver, and he over-deliver. And because of that, right, next time when the bosses kind of face certain problem, immediately, right, they will think about Davey. And because of that, he got promoted so fast. And one more advice that Davey gave to young career adults like you is to try to get into roles that can track your performance, that you can really make tangible results for your company. Some of the roles including, for example, sales, because sales is tangible. Whether you hit your KPI, whether you over-deliver your KPI, your bosses will immediately know. And if you are good at that, then that's how the bosses will pay more attention to you and give you more opportunities, right? Because you are willing to stand out, they would love to give you opportunities to make you even more outstanding. And that's how you are able to cut short your success and get even greater income in a much, much shorter time. Now, I know maybe the word sales will kind of make you cringe, which in the past, yes, it happened to me as well. Whenever I think about the word sales, I would immediately want to shun away, right? Like insurance agent, go away. MLM, multi-level marketing people, oh, please go away. I always think that, oh, wow, they are kind of like very evil people. And actually at that time, I have this notion that, well, only people who are not very good in their study will end up doing sales. So I kind of felt like, well, since I am graduating from NTU and I got a second upper degree, I would think to myself, nah, I'm not going to do sales because it kind of seems like a very low job, right? Or so I thought, until I start to realize that people who actually do sell, they do way better than me in life. Then that's when I realized that I was so wrong about the whole concept of sales. And sales doesn't have to be just about insurance, just about, selling MLM products. It's more than that. The skill set is so valuable. What do I mean by that? If you think about it, every single day there is sales happening in your life. For example, if you want to watch a new movie and you want to get your friends to come and watch together with you, you need to have certain technique, right? Sales technique and persuasion technique to convince that friend to go with you. Or for example, if you are into that guy or into that cute girl and you want to impress that person, well, how can you do that? You need to make sure you also use certain sales and persuasion principles to make yourself stand out and to get the other person to be interested in you. And of course, when you're trying to get your dream job, you also need to sell, right? Sell yourself so that your future employer, they are willing to get you on board. Can you see that sales is not just limited to a job, but it's your way of life. Every single day, there is element of sales and persuasions inside. And since you know that sales is already happening, right, with or without you liking it in your life, then why not get this chance to really learn to be better at it? If you improve your sales skill, what does that mean? It also improves your communication skills. If you want to become a great salesperson, you want to make sure you really know your stuff, right? So that people trust you and know that whatever things that you are sharing with them, it really works. So as I grow older and hopefully a little wiser, right, in the recent years, I really regretted that I did not explore the path of even considering, taking up certain sales roles in my early 20s just to see whether do I like it or not? And if I don't like it, at least I tried it. However, if I like it, well, this could be a very good career option, which if I continue to double down, I think I will probably be even more successful than I am today. Everything is possible. So as you can see, back then, I was pretty much close-minded. I have a lot of judgment around certain ideas. So what really cracked open my mind, or at least crack open a little bit, right, on my mind, was really the next lesson I'm going to share with you. That is really the environment and the network that matters a lot, especially in your working environment. If you have a good boss, you will be so blessed. After I quit my journalism job, I was considered very lucky to be able to work for my ex-boss, right? And his name is Sean. And I really felt that Sean gave me so many opportunities. And because of that, I grew so much in the past few years. So how did I get to know Sean? Which is related to lesson number 2, being willing to explore different paths. So remember back then, I actually took up the internet marketing course, which I failed pretty miserably, right? Until I eventually turned it into just a passion pet project. But in the meantime, I was still looking for ways to generate income. And since internet marketing didn't work for me, what else can I do? Right? That's how I actually started my investing journey. And I actually went to attend Sean's program right back then as a student to get started. So as I continue to work as a journalist, I start to invest, I start to see results, certain consistency, and I start to help out, right, in his company to do certain facilitation for certain events, certain gatherings for the students. And because of that, he see my passion to actually want to share and to actually want to teach. And just nice at that time, he was actually wanting to expand to different parts of the world, including Japan, Hong Kong, and China, and all this. And because I am, one of my ability is I speak multiple language. 日本語, Japanese, 大丈夫, Cantonese, 我都講廣東話. Oh yes, I speak Mandarin, of course. 當然我會講中文. Yes, and because of that, I am able to actually lead the project to go overseas and to expand investing to different countries. For me, I was considered super lucky because he's such a great boss, very open-minded to whatever suggestions that I give, and he always encouraged me to try out different things, not just in my career, right, but also outside of my career, right, trying out social medias, trying out launching my own program, to eventually really helping me to become where I am today. They have helped me so much, not just as an investor, but also an entrepreneur, because I was just observing how he does things all the time, what kind of spirit, entrepreneurship mindset that he had that really inspired me to want to start this, right? Right now I'm running my own business. So that's why my advice is really choose your environment very carefully, especially your work environment. Right? Because a lot of times you can't really choose your family, but you can choose your work. And Warren Buffett also said that work for someone that you admire, and you want to make sure you can learn a lot from the person, then go and work for the person. Don't just work for money, because if you work for people who you really can model after, even though the path might not be the path that you originally envisioned, but the possibilities that it can unlock for you can be a lot more than what you are imagining today. So once you find a good boss or a great environment, really make sure you absorb as much as possible, acquire that skill set as much as possible, so that the time being there is well spent. Right? You grow tremendously as a person, and your skill set also grow, and because of that, your income will come. So with your income catching up, right, maybe when you reach your late 20s, then the next question that you might want to start asking yourself is, what's the worst that can happen to you? If you watch my video over here, you know that earlier this year, I actually quit my 6-figure high-paying job and start my own business. Now, it's not the first time I quit my job, but it's the first time in my life that no return, right? I know that this time I'm just really going to fully focus on what I want to do, which is starting my own business. Back then, I still have a lot of fear, even though I quit my job like 2-3 times before. Every time I quit, I have a lot of self-doubt. I'll keep on thinking that, okay, I need to go and find the next job soon, right? So that I have the income coming in. I don't need to make my family worry about me. So I constantly have a lot of fear back then when I quit. But this time when I quit, I just know that I'm just really going to give my best. Firstly, I think I have really planned this for many years, right? Since I started my journalism career all the way until now, I spend like almost 10 years? Yeah, I think 10 years, right? 10 years of my life building my career, right? Honing my skill set. And I also have money, right, from the stock market. Now, if you are asking me, will I want to withdraw money from my stock market, which is almost $1 million portfolio? My answer is no, right? Because I really don't want to live off my investment. When you are living off your investment, when I talk to different investors, I kind of felt that there's more stress to that, right? And I don't want my investment portfolio to be stressed. I want it to grow in a very peaceful manner. I don't need to take extra risk. I still can let it grow. So what am I going to do? Instead of living off from my $1 million portfolio, I want to make sure I continue to make money and make income from doing what I love. So before I quit my job earlier this year, so I asked myself, okay, what's the worst that can happen to me? Well, the worst is my business failed, and I basically have to go back to work again, right, for someone else, right, if I don't want to withdraw from my investment account. Once I think about the worst that can happen, which is just to work again, well, it doesn't sound so bad after all, right? Because I was already working for someone else. Now I just need to go back to do the same thing, probably in a different company with different people, but the skill set, everything that I learned is transferable. There's nothing for me to be afraid of. So that's how, after 1 year of talking myself out of quitting my comfortable job, I took that leap of faith during the beginning of the year. And things has been great so far. In the past, it took me a year to make 6 figures. Now it took me 3 months, right, to make my 6 figure. And the rest of the years, what can I do? Well, I can go travel, which I plan to, right? That's why I go to China for the next 1 month with my family. I'm going to go there together with them. And then for the next few months, I can do basically what I truly enjoy and explore. That's why I'm really grateful for the decision that I made, that I decided to step out of my fear. I decided to really be willing to fail. In the process, I definitely will encounter hiccups. There are definitely times that I also, once again, doubt myself occasionally whether how sustainable it is. If I can make 6 figure in 3 months, how about, the next 3 months, will I be able to make 6 figures again? I do have all these self-doubt and talks, but things has been great, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for Sean for equipping me with this skill set, and of course very grateful to you for all your support for my work all this while. So that's why if you are in your 20s, that is the best time to take risks. You shouldn't be afraid of taking risks. You shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes in your 20s, because you have such a long way ahead of you, and you can always recover, right? You can always recover from your mistakes. You can always bounce back, and you can always learn from there and become better. So whatever desires or whatever aspirations that you have right now, if you want to do like a 1 year break, right, work and travel somewhere else, just go for it. If you want to, start your own side hustle while working for someone else, go for it. Or if you want to become a content creator while in your university, go for it. You just wouldn't know what kind of possibilities that it can unlock for you as long as you go for it. There's this book that I'm reading, Soul in the Game, by this very good fund manager, Vitaly Katzenelson. He talks about don't wait for inspiration. You just do it. When you do it, you will feel inspired. And you never know, you might even inspire other people. And just one more point I want to add, that recently, because I was interviewing another very famous author for this book, Happy Money by Ken Honda. And during the interview, he actually shared that when he was in his, before he turned 20, he went to ask a business entrepreneur, like if he want to become a successful business entrepreneur, what should he do? And the mentor told him, go and depend on other people. And the best way to depend on other people is to travel with no money. And next insane thing that Ken did was he flew to the US for 1 entire year, and he lived there out of the kindness and generosities of the people, that he didn't spend any single cent. And because of that, I think that really changed his entire outlook in life. It transformed his mindset to where he become today. He's already a multi-millionaire, very successful in his own way, in his own business. But imagine if he did not take that trip when he was 19. He would definitely not be where he is today. So when you're young, go take risks, right? You have all the opportunities and the path ahead of you to go crazy. And you are so blessed with time. And lesson number 8 is to start investing early. Some of you might be thinking that, hey, but Chloe, I only have a little bit of money. Maybe I start with a few thousand or maybe just a few $100s, right? If I put inside the stock market, it seems forever to make me a millionaire. However, if you really ask me, right, should you be investing in stocks versus crypto? I would say if you just compare the history, crypto, which is Bitcoin, it only came out in 2009. That means the history time span for this asset class, it's about 15 years. Versus if you look at the stock market itself, which has a history dated back in 1792. This has also proven to be one of the most profitable investing vehicle for many investors, including Warren Buffett himself. And if you're not sure what kind of market to invest, I will always say go for the US. Warren Buffett also said, one of my all-time favorite role model, my hero, he said, don't bet against America, because American people, they have this innovative spirit in them that they always want to improve. And because of that, American business are going to improve, American economy is going to improve over time, and that's how the stock market will follow in the long run. And if you don't know anything about investing in the US stock market, I would say also follow Buffett's advice, invest in S&P 500, the ETF that invest in the broad 500, top 500 companies in the US, your Apple, your Amazon, your Google, your Tesla, whatever, all those great companies that you can name off, they are there, right? So once you buy into S&P 500, you already get about 10% return, and this 10% has been consistent, right, for the past 50 years. Because in the short term, the stock market can fluctuate, but in the long run, very, very obvious, it's going up. So if you use this calculator, imagine you just put in $10,000 to start investing. And every single year, you'll be disciplined about it and continue to invest another 10K. And you compound all these years of saving for 30 years, and you just invest in S&P 500, which generally give you 10% return. Over time, you already have close to $2 million to retire on. And of course, if you know how to use options to increase your return to, for example, 15%, which is actually very achievable using the Arigato Buffett option strategy, with that, you will have $5 million to retire on. So once again, I really feel that investing is a journey. It's not about getting rich quick. And I felt that the moment I graduate from the mindset of wanting to get rich quick, that's where wealth really starts coming. That's why the sooner you get started, the more runway you have in front of you. And that's how the faster and the bigger you're able to compound your wealth. So if you also want this $1 million portfolio tracker, make sure to download it via my website, arigatoinvestor.com over here. In fact, I'm also conducting a free 2-hour investing masterclass to teach you how to actually use this calculator and combine it with options to increase your return and cut short your journey to having your first $1 million portfolio. If you want to join the free class, make sure to click on the link below in the description. I know that as long as you're willing to learn, to improve, to explore different paths that life can offer to you, you will become successful. And I think the next thing that's very important is, as you become better and better and more successful, please remain to be humble. For the past 2 years, I've been going to Berkshire Hathaway AGM, which is Warren Buffett's company. And I just get to see all those great, amazing investors from all over the world. Some of them are even managing billions of dollars. And I just felt that they are all really humble and very nice people. And if you think about Warren Buffett himself, even though he is already one of the richest people on earth, he lives very frugally, always within his means, and he doesn't spend on money that he thinks is unnecessary. And he always treats people with generosity. And if you are able to cultivate and retain this kindness to people, and at the same time have this humility to know that we are just students of life and we are always trying to learn, trying to improve. So as you becoming more successful, please make sure don't be cocky, don't be full of yourself, because we also know that none of us are self-made millionaire, right? None of us can become where we are today without the help of others. So make sure you practice the habit of being grateful. So for me, ever since I interviewed another very famous fund manager who wrote this book, The Joys of Compounding by Garden Bay, during the interview, he actually shared one very important practice that he does every single day that helped him to become where he is today. And I also want to just share with you in case you haven't watched the interview. So he shared that every day, write down 5 things. You can do that, half of it in the morning and half of it at night, or whichever time that you feel that's comfortable for you. So he said the first thing I want to write down is, what are you grateful for, right? 3 things that you are grateful for in life. Second thing, what are the amazing things that are going to happen to you today. For example, today I wrote that I'm going to have a great time filming this video, and indeed I'm having such a great time. So write down and anticipate what are the amazing things that's going to happen to you, and they are going to happen to you. And the third thing is you want to practice positive self-affirmation every day. So what I usually write, let me just show you, right? So this is what I do. I've been doing that since March, beginning of March, because I interviewed him during March. I felt that it has really brought me a lot more peace and a lot more happiness. All right, so going back to the third point, self-affirmation. So I write like, I am loved because I'm lovable. This is also Buffett's quote, right? If you want to be loved by others, you yourself must be lovable. So I just use it to remind myself that I'm loved because I am a lovable person. So I write 3 affirmations, and then after that, this is what I do in the morning. And in the evening, I will write here, right? So the fourth thing that you want to write is 4 highlights that happened to you today, right? So what did I do today? I went for a great swim with my mom. I chatted with her. We planned about our China trip next month. So it was a good time, right? So I will write that later as well. After that, the final thing, right, are the 3 lessons that you learned today. What did you learn from today's encounter? And if every day you just really reflect on what you have learned and you just continue to practice this, you will go so far in life, right? Because Gautam, he has been practicing this for the past 10 years, and it has literally transformed his way of life, his attitude towards life, and of course, whatever financial abundance that he is enjoying today. I hope that you will find this exercise useful and start using it. All you need is a notebook. And lastly, all right, lesson number 10 is we have a lot of things in our life that we want to achieve, right? You want to be great, you want to look good, you want to be successful in your career, you want to have a great relationship and all this. And I know, right, sometimes it's really not easy to juggle so many things at the same time. And I think it's totally fine, right? That you just need to be patient with yourself and knowing that you are a work in progress. If you know that we are far from being perfect, then it's okay that we don't necessarily need to hit our goal every single day, right? Sometimes we might encounter certain experience that might not be very pleasant or certain failures, but it's okay, right? It's work in progress. We are just improving and learning from them as well. So if you felt that you are getting stuck, or maybe your work is not progressing as fast as you wanted, just learn to slow down and be forgiving about yourself, right? Because everybody has different pace. Everybody have different path, right? Don't benchmark your path against other people's path, right? Don't benchmark my path with your path. You never know. Even though today you think that, wow, Chloe can be like so far ahead, but maybe 10 years later, you are way, 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 way better than me, right? As long as you are willing to really, all the lessons I share, right? That you're willing to double down on what you love, go and explore different paths that life can bring you, and remain humble in the entire process, be a student of life, I'm pretty sure that you'll get very far ahead in your life and you will achieve that level of success that you cannot imagine you are today. So remember to stay grateful, to stay open-minded, and have a fulfilling and inspiring life for yourself and for other people as well. So before I end this video, I just want to thank Herschel once again for writing me that email that gave me inspiration to do this video. And of course, Vanessa Lau, one of the very good content creator I look up to. She recently made this video and I really felt that I got inspired so much that I want to share my own version of it. And I also want to thank you for watching this video until all the way to the end. And if you really enjoy whatever things that I'm sharing and you felt that maybe your friends or maybe even your family can benefit from it, feel free to share to them and inspire them to live a fulfilling life as well. So with that, I will see you in the next video.